Good evening, everyone. Welcome to this introductory presentation about Coursevita. Coursevita is an innovative learning platform designed to provide flexible, high quality education to learners worldwide. Our mission is to make learning accessible and manageable, even for the busiest individuals out there. With a wide range of courses in various fields, there is something here for everyone. Coursevita supports students and professionals globally by delivering top-notch online training in various domains, including data science, data visualization, and data analysis. Our passionate and dedicated team of experts has successfully trained individuals, providing application and industry-oriented learning on trending technologies for free, and also paid workshops happen. This approach helps students gain real-world experience, enhancing their skills and improving their placement opportunities. Our objective is to offer application-oriented training for both students and faculty, focusing on hands-on training with the latest technologies. CourseVita aims to bridge the gap between theoretical knowledge and practical application, ensuring our learners are well prepared for the challenges of the modern workforce. So, why should you choose CourseVita? Firstly, our courses are designed to fit into your busy schedule with flexible learning options. The bite-sized lessons make it easy to learn on the go, and the downloadable materials ensure you can study offline whenever you have time. Additionally, our industry recognized certificates can help boost your career prospects. Now, let's take a look at what some of our success stories look like. Many learners have benefited from Coursera's programs, with testimonials highlighting significant career advancements and personal growth. These stories demonstrate the real world impact of our courses and success our learners have achieved. 8 out of 10 learners are pleased with our courses, and we have two testimonials from Nikita Verma and Anvita Chaudhary. Nikita Verma has quoted that CourseVita has a good selection of courses on various topics. The platform itself is user friendly and easy to navigate. We are glad that she found the content quality to be good overall. Also, some courses could benefit from being more up to date with the latest industry trends. And Anvita Chaudhary has quoted that CourseVita is a decent platform. And especially if someone is looking out for free introductory courses, she definitely recommends this. She has taken our introductory to business management course, and we are glad that it has given her a good starting point. Now, if you are ready to take the next step in your learning journey, joining CourseVita is so easy. Simply sign up on our website and you'll have access to a wealth of resources and courses. We often have special offers and discounts, so be sure to check those out. If you have any questions or need assistance, our contact information is provided. And also, don't forget to follow our social media platforms to have all the updated news. We'll be posting all our details regarding the upcoming paid boot camps as well as free boot camps on our social media platforms. To stay updated, please hit a follow button on our social media platforms. Thank you for your time, and I hope to see you soon on Course Vita. Over to Neha Gupta now.
Yeah, hi, Jyotirya. Am I audible?
Yeah, Neha. Welcome over.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Fine. So let me just quickly share my screen. Let's see. Yeah. I hope my screen is visible. Can any of you please confirm if my screen is visible?
Yeah, yes,
Yeah,
Neha.
it's visible.
Okay,
Yes, it is
perfect.
visible.
Okay, cool, guys. Thanks for the introduction about Coursevita. So, as he mentioned, right, so today we'll be doing a quick workshop on generative AI. So, it's a buzzword these days, right? So, we'll unleash that what it is and then how it is relevant in data analytics domain. Okay, so we are going to cover at least I would say basic to mediatory level of concepts and see that how you can leverage, right? So let's quickly jump into that. So I'll just start with my quick introduction. So as you know, my name is Neha. So I have around 10 years of experience in this domain. So I did my master's from IIT Madras, and since then I'm working as a data scientist. So I have worked with a lot of different firms, mostly into banking, financial, insurance domain, into the text analytics field. Built the predictive models, NLP, deep learning models, artificial models, and then generative AI, right? So I have predominant experience in Python, in on cloud. I have Microsoft Azure, AWS, Databricks. So that's pretty much about me. Okay, so I'll quickly touch base what all we are going to cover, right? So I want this session to be interactive as much as possible, right? So if you have any questions, I believe all of you can unmute yourself. Do you have that access, or are you like by default muted?
Ma'am, please hide that.
Sorry?
Please hide that.
Okay. So Srinath, can they unmute themselves if they have any query?
Ma'am, yeah, here, stop sharing. Right side hide option is there now.
Yeah, that I will hide, but I'm asking you, are you guys are able to unmute yourself, right?
Yes, yes.
Yes, yes.
Okay, cool. Yeah, so
Okay,
as I
now
was
it's
saying
fine.
that if you have any questions, queries, you can just raise. Sorry? Okay. Yeah, so as I was saying that if there are any question and queries, then you can just raise your hand, or you can just stop me in between and then we can address that. So I want it to be as interactive as possible. Trust me, the more you will speak, the more you will ask questions, you are going to learn more. Okay. Cool. So, as part of this workshop, we will be covering first what is generative AI, right? What exactly this term mean, right? What is the bigger umbrella, and then under this, what all things come. So, you might have heard about Chat GPT. I'm not sure if you get a chance to explore that. So, we'll be exploring that as well, right? Then we'll learn that what is prompt engineering. You might have heard this term a lot: prompting, prompt engineer, and all those stuff. So what does it really mean, and how does it really help in your day to day job, be it data science, data analytics, or be it some other role? Okay. And then we'll also see how specifically generative AI can be leveraged for data analytics, right? So what are different the data analytics step, and then how at each step you can leverage generative AI and make your life easier, be more productive. Okay. And of course, like any other algorithm or any other technology, it has certain limitations and challenges, which we will cover. And then we'll also see what are some integrated tools exist in the market with Gen AI, which you can quickly learn and adapt to make your work faster. And we'll also do some hands-on workshop. Cool. Sounds good. Is there anything else you were expecting out of this 2 hours? I would say 1.5 hour, close to 2 hour workshop.
Okay, ma'am, please.
Cool. Okay, cool. So first, let's understand what is generative AI. I know there is too much text. You don't have to worry. I'll explain you in very simple term. Okay. So as you all know, right, as the term suggests, it's basically a type of artificial intelligence, right? AI stands for artificial intelligence that utilizes learning to generate new type of content in be it images, text, video, music, or whatnot. Okay. So just a simple term, artificial intelligence which generate data, and it could be anything. It could be text, it could be image, it could be video, music, anything. Okay, so that is what we call it as a generative AI, right? Now how does it really work? So basically it is trained on large data set, right? So you think like that, it's not like a magic or something, right? It's not really a black box. So it's just like you think that it's a huge model, what we call, right, which is made up of thousand or billions of parameters, right? Or you can say parameters, not like mathematical equations. And then you have trained that on historical data, like huge data set you have trained on, and then ultimately it learns the pattern, right? And then based on that historical data, or based on that training, it try to mimic the same thing. Like let's say you ask a question, you have trained it on historical data set, and then when you ask a new thing, it will try to give you a information, right, which is leveraging from the historical data. Okay. So it's like I am breaking down it very very simply. I'm not gonna go in too much detail what are these models and all those stuff. You don't need to learn, like, go over it, like, because there is no way you can learn it in 2 hours. But what all I'm trying to say is just simplify these terms or mystify, demystify these terminologies for you. Okay. And just so you know that it's not a new term, even though there is a lot of buzz recently from last 1 year, I would say. However, this is not a new technology. It is existing from last 60s, right? Right. But there are new advancement which happened, especially from 2014 onwards, that made it so easy and that made it so advanced. Cool. So now what are those advancements? So as I said, you don't have to bother too much what are these different models, but these are just for your basic understanding, that you should know that, what is the basic understanding or what is the overall, the base of the technology which you are leveraging, right? So we are not going to cover too much detail, but just to give you a very base broader idea about all these models, right? So basically, this Gen AI started from GANs. You will hear this term a lot, GANs model, right? So again, these GANs model are nothing but generative adversarial network. So what happens, as I said, right? See, you can think like these are all models, right? The only way they differs is that how do you really train it, or what is the architecture of these models. Okay, so you think like that. Just to give you an analogy, right? So there are different houses, isn't it? So let's say in villages you might have seen certain type of houses, right? In city or in advanced urban area you might have seen certain houses. Do you see the architecture of the all those houses are same? Not really, right? So it may happen that in villages they build those houses with, with certain type of another technology. Maybe some of them use muds, some of them use mud bricks, red bricks. But if you see, especially in Bangalore, in urban area, you will see concrete bricks are coming in, red bricks are not there, right? So the point I'm trying to make is that all of these are houses, all of these are models, but the building blocks ultimately at the end, which makes them different. So some, and of course, as I said, right, each of them has their own unique properties. So it's some of them may be good at something, few of them may be good at something. For an example, mud house might be very good for cooling purposes, right, as compared to concrete houses. But concrete houses are more stable, right, against the winds or against storms or against things like that. Okay. So same concept here also. So this GAN is again one kind of model in which you will see. So I'll just explain you quickly with the help of the image. So this is what GAN is, right? So as I said, don't worry too much about this. So I'm just trying to explain you that how these different architecture differs, right? So as I said, the first one, which was the very early, it was discovered in 2014, which is, we call it as a GAN. And basically this model has two blocks, you can think like. So one was discriminator and another was generator. Okay, so as I said, how do you really train the data, train the model on your data set? So think like discriminator will work as, it will try to, discriminator is used to classify sorry, uh, yeah, so first is the generator and you have discriminator model. So the generator model is trained to generate new data samples. So you think like you already have a data, and then what generator will do, as the name suggests, it will generate a new data, right? Now that what is the job of discriminator? As the name suggests, it will discriminate whether it is real or a fake, right? And that is how it is training. So this is the whole architecture of this GAN model. So in simple term, you can think like it has two blocks. One is generator, another is discriminator. One is generator is generating the data, right? And the discriminator job is whether it is a fake data, which is like generated, or it is a historical data. So that way it understands. So that way it is learning about the data. Cool. So these kind of models are called as GANs, right? And the same, so once they are trained, now what we do is we use those model to generate new data. Let's say I will give you a sentence and I'll ask that please complete the sentence. So these kind of a GANs model, right? Now then there were some advanced model came in, which we call as a variational autoencoders, VAEs. Again, as I said, this is also another popular technique of generating modeling. However, it uses a different architecture. They uses encoder and decoder. So I will not go in too much detail, but as I said, you should be aware about these basic terms. So when somebody say generative models, typically these models are encoder and decoder based architectures, which is more
I'm just want
efficient.
to ask one thing.
Yeah.
How it's useful in real based scenario? which means how can we use this type of things in our real life problems?
I will come to that, right? So that is what we are going to cover. So this is just, see, it is like, I can directly jump to the real world examples, right? But the point is that how will you know that what is the underlying architecture? How does it really working? So that is what I'm trying to explain you. So we will come to that how are you going to leverage it and what all things. But you should be aware about the basic concept of it, right? So that is what we are going to cover. I know it cannot be completely covered in 2 hours, but just to give you a basic idea, at least you should be aware about this terminology. If somebody is telling you that, hey, this is encoder, decoder based, at least you should be aware about it. It should not be like you don't even know these terms. Cool?
Okay, ma'am. Yeah, clear.
Yeah. Okay. So this is encoder, decoder architecture, right? So this is, you can think like first is the GAN, then comes the advanced ones, which is variational autoencoders, where you had two encoder and decoder kind of architecture. Then the last one, which is actually quite famous these days. All of you might have heard Chat GPT, right? Chat GPT, everybody has heard or no?
Yes, yes. Ma'am.
Yes. So this
Yes,
that
ma'am.
Chat GPT model is based out of transformer architecture, which is again nothing but encoder decoder based only, but with self attention layer. So as I said, I'm not going to cover too much detail, but this is just to explain you that these kind of different architecture exist. And Chat GPT is based out of transformer architecture. If somebody tells you or asks you, you should be aware about it. Okay. And this is
Using
what,
large language models.
yeah, this is, yes, exactly. These are large language models, LLMs we call. Okay, all the large language models are based out of these transformer based architecture only. So this portion is called encoder and this portion is called decoder. So I'm not going to cover too much detail. It will take like, it's a long course, right? It cannot be covered now, but just so you should be aware about. Okay. So if somebody asks you what is ChatGPT model, you can say it's a transformer based architecture model which leverages self attention mechanism layers. Cool. So this much about the architecture, right? So now so as somebody asked that, how do I really leverage? So as I said, the very easy to like easy to use and frequently available to all of you for free, it is Chat GPT, right? And it's super easy to use it if you have not used it already. Right, you can just follow this link. So I'm just going to show you. So all you have to do is just uh, yeah. So just type this chatgpt.com on your Chrome, right, or on any of your browser, and you can simply log in. So when you log in, what will happen is that wherever searches you are doing or whatever things you are doing, it actually maintains the record. So you can see here on the left side, whatever I have tried or asked so far with ChatGPT, it has all the records. So up to you. Even without login, also you can use it. It's just that it will not remember, or you will not be able to see it later on if you want to see something.
Ma'am,
Okay.
what is Gemini?
So again, Gemini is by Google's. So it is the same thing. All these are LLM models, but these are launched by different companies. So ChatGPT is from OpenAI. Gemini is from Google. So you can think like Gemini is a ChatGPT for Google. All these are different LLM models, and how they are different is because, see, these are big companies, right? They have their own data set, they have their own way of training. So as I said, right, these model architecture slightly here and there differs. So one model might be using 175 billion parameters, another is using some other parameters, right? Number of parameters might differ, but these are all same models. They do the same job. Performance might be different based on their training way or the data.
Okay, ma'am.
Cool. So I have mentioned here names. So if you see early in the previous slide, right? Google BERT is there, Gemini is there, AlphaFold is also there, ChatGPT is there. All these are LLMs. There is Bing also. They have introduced LLM in Bing, right? Microsoft.
Okay, okay. Okay, ma'am.
Okay, cool. Right. So as I said, you can just access this chat GPT, right, with this, and it you can just ask whatever you want to do, right? So let's understand first what all the use cases are there, right? So you can use it as your personal assistant, right? So as simple as you can ask that, okay, can you draft me a mail to thank you our team or whatever, let's say. So you can just leverage these things for your simple daily life things. Let's say you want to create a to-do list for something, you can do that, right? So let's say if I just simply copy this, whatever you is going in your right, going in your mind, you can simply ask that in chat gpt and get it. So let's say I want to draft a mail to thank our team for on a recent project. So what I can do is I can simply ask this here, and I'll simply uh, press enter, and you will see it will start generating. So it is start generating your mails and all those stuff, right? So like this thing you can do, you can use it as your personal assistant. So it is just typing. Okay, and it is for free. If any of you have not used it before, please try it out. It will make your life very very simple, at least these kind of tedious job, right? So that's what we are going to talk about, what all, where all you can use, right? So you can use it as your personal assistant, you can use it for your everyday writing, right? Let's say you want to write a formal letter to anybody, right? Be your for your personal task or for your office task, you can just do that. You can even create reports, weekly reports. You can summarize the things. Let's say you enter some data, right? You have to summarize the things, so you can just provide all the context, all the relevant details, and you can just quickly summarize, ask it to summarize, right? Then you can have some boost your productivity with it, right? So as I said, brainstorming sessions. So let's say you see, you have to understand, right? So as I said, okay, let me, do you know how many parameters it has been trained on, chat gpt model? Anybody has an idea?
What, ma'am? I didn't hear question. Answer.
How many parameters it is trained on, like it has chat gpt? So as I said, right, as I was explaining you, models are nothing but parameters. You can think like, right? It's like a mathematical equation, or parameters nothing but x, y, z, like that. There are many parametric value on which data model, your model is trained. So do you know how many such parameters it uses? Okay, how much is India's population? Anybody know it?
140 crore.
140. So can you tell me in billions? It is 1.4 billion,
1.4 billion.
right?
I think.
So do you know it is 100 times of it? It is that big.
Yes.
It is 175 billion parameters it has, right? So, and it took almost 3 to 4 months to train this model. Okay, so that much infrastructure and that much, the money has been invested. And you can think like it was not just in one go they were able to train it for 3 more months. They were trying, I believe, from 2015-16 onwards. So it was a worth, I think from last 7 years they were trying, and they actually made it successful in 2021. That is where they released. So you can think like how big it was, and the data also it uses, right? It was quite big. And so when you are asking these things, right? So how exactly it is generating? I'm just trying to give you a sense how it is really generating. So you think like all the data which they have on the web, they are using that. So you think like somebody might have already written these kind of a mail somewhere, and that is where it is learning and picking things from there, and it is trying to recreate the same thing. Okay, cool. Right? So you can, and you can treat it like a third person also, right? You can ask, you can brainstorm on different ideas, that I need some ideas for my next blog, can you just give me something? So you just try it out, like you will be really really amazed what kind of responses it gives. Okay, so so as I said, how do you access it? So there are many ways to access it. So one thing I already showed you via website, you just directly go to the website and you can access it. There is also something called playground, right? So I've already shared a link here. So what this playground does is, okay. Okay, so it is quite similar one. Playground also, what you see there is just that it is not for free. Okay, and the reason being why it is not for free, because you see here, this is a very base model. So if you see here chat gpt, you see here there are different, it asks you to upgrade also. See, you have to understand all these guys, they are like doing it, right? They are not going to do it for free. They also have to make money, right? So these are some, you can think like base model they have given it for you try out. But there are there are more advanced models, more better models which exist, which you will get once you upgrade it. So there will be some fee which you have to pay so that you get access to those models also. Okay, so it is like you might have seen, right? This is a typical marketing gimmick. They will give you some very base product for free to use, and then for advanced feature they'll ask you to pay. So same thing here. So same thing with playground also. Like if you see, so as I said, authentication required. If you try to log in, because I don't have a paid account, it will tell me that you have to upgrade your account. Okay, so I'm not gonna like log in you, but just so you know that all these things exist. Okay, for free you can just use it like this. Chat GPT, you just log in and you can just use it like this. Okay, for playground you will get more advanced features, like selecting the models, changing certain parameters here and there, all those stuff. Okay, there is an app also. If you don't know, you can download the app also from OpenAI. You can just go to your Play Store, right, and download the OpenAI app, and same way you can use it like you are using for desktop. Okay, and there are another way to connect to the OpenAI via Jupyter Notebook. I believe all of you are aware about Python, right, or Jupyter Notebooks.
Yes.
Yes, no,
Yes, yes.
yes, right. Okay, so there are ways to connect to Jupyter Notebook with OpenAI, and you can leverage these models in Python also in Jupyter Notebooks and use it. Okay, but again, that is for paid. Like there, you will get a API key once you have made the payment, and then you can leverage it via Jupyter Notebook. Okay, so for free, if you want to try, you can just try it with this chatgpt.com website or from the app. Okay, for other two sources, you have to do the payment. Okay, cool. Now let's understand what we will do with it. Okay, so I've told you what to access, how to access, but what exactly you will do, right? Especially from data analytics point of view, we'll try to understand. Okay, but first understand what is prompt engineering. So, can any of you tell me, have you heard this term prompt, or what do you understand with this prompt term?
How
What?
can you give
Went for this.
the command to the chat GPT so that that chat GPT will give a suitable answer? For example, the
Hmm.
display in the board also, the sky is giving blue, and the improve is it's giving the whole sentence.
Exactly. Right. So perfectly
What?
answered.
What we are
So
expecting from the chat GPT, we have to give
yeah.
that type of prompt, that type of command for give for chat
Hmm.
GPT.
Okay.
Communication between the user and the AI, ma'am.
AI model.
While
Exactly.
converting, while communicate, which we are communicating or searching a topic, we need to give a specific prompt that which we need. So the AI can understand and give the analyze
Hmm.
the prompt, and it will generate the message or a text or a
Hmm.
image or a source link.
Exactly. Right. Then why are we calling it engineering? What is a rocket science in this? Right? There is
Ma'am,
no rocket science. Hmm.
nowadays the prompt engineering is I mean,
Nowadays, prompt engineering have more demand
But
in
why? That
the.
is what I'm trying to say, right? It is just
ma'am,
a simple
ma'am,
sentence.
generally if we give a prompt, it should
Hmm.
be understand to AI, ma'am. Example, if we need, if I need to search a movie, or I search on website, I will
Hmm.
go to the Google and I'll give a normal message, ma'am, which
Hmm.
I can understand.
Hmm.
So
Nowadays,
if I give the correct prompt,
Hmm.
uh, so it can analyze the prompt which I have given. It
Hmm.
can be analyze the prompt, and it will give the exact
Hmm.
exact output which I need.
Yeah. Correct.
uh,
Somebody else was also speaking. Yeah.
nowadays using of AI, they are creating movies, some videos like
Hmm.
that. What
Yeah.
are the we are expecting from? We have to get this type of output from video or movie. Uh,
Yeah.
that type of prompt we have to give now. What are
Hmm.
the who have the expert in that prompt giving that type
Ma'am,
of things that is.
Yes. Correct. So all of
ma'am,
you answered yes. Go ahead.
example, recently, I mean, not recently, I mean, the Hanuman movie was famous, ma'am. Means,
In that, the director used AI at the last of the movie, which is generated, ma'am.
Hmm. Okay. So basically, why there is so much buzz about prompt engineering is, see, you have to understand one thing. The better output you will get, the better you know how to interact with this machine or with this model,
AI. Yes, ma'am.
right? So it's always has been that simple. Input equal to output. The better your input is, better will be your output. It's like garbage in, garbage out. If you give garbage, you will get the garbage. But if you give the best quality of input prompt or input task, best structured, you will get exactly what you are looking for. So you should know how do you put it. But see, you think like that, right? You might be having your best friends.
Ma'am, one doubt. Why engineering, ma'am?
Yeah.
Yeah. Hi Neha, are you there? Like your voice was not audible to everyone.
Oh, okay. Guys, please be careful. I think somebody muted me. I'm not sure how. I'm not sure if you have that kind of access.
Okay, let me.
Trinath, can you give me host access back?
You are already in the co-host, like Neha.
Okay, but somebody I think accidentally muted me. So
Okay, okay.
yeah,
Yeah, I will change the settings here.
yeah, please do that. Okay, I believe I am audible, right?
Yes, yes, you're audible.
Okay, fine. Yeah, so we were talking about prompt engineering, right? So prompt is nothing but it's a text that goes inside the language model. And why we call engineering, it is actually a art of designing that text to get the desired output. The better will be your input, the best will be your output, right? So it's a comprehensive process of designing and optimizing. That is why we call it as a prompt engineering. It's not just designing, but it's optimizing also. How do you get the best results in minimum words, right? Why minimum words? I'll tell you. So as I said, right, some of the models are paid. And how do they charge? How they charge you? They charge you number based on number of words you are giving as an input and you are generating. That is how they charge. It's not like a fixed fee or like they have taken a fixed fee and then you can just use whatever you want or however you want. It's not like that. It's like pay as you go, these models. And that too they charge based on words, each words actually they call it as a tokens, right? So you can think like in a simplification word, that token is each word. So let's say if a prompt has been generated this much, right? So I was giving you this example, right? So this example you see here, you can actually put it in word and see how many words were generated. So think like that, if it would have been a paid model, I would be charged some number of some dollar or something, x amount of dollar based on this token number of words it has generated, and plus I have given. So that's why you have to be better at it for optimization, because it is good, but you will end up like it will be very very costly to use if you don't optimize it properly. Okay, now I believe you understand, right, why there is an engineering term here. Okay, so just to give you an example, that it's a basic prompt, right? Like I just gave the sky is, right? I did not say anything what to do and what not to do, right? But the correct way would be that I want to complete this sentence. So how I'll give is, I'll tell first the task. First, so we call it as a instruction based models. First instruct what you want to do. So I have given the instruction, complete the sentence, and then I have given colon to identify that this is my instruction, and then from new line I'm giving the sentence that, hey, this is my sentence, now you complete this. So you will see that's why it has given you a better output. Clear? I believe now you guys are not able
Yes, ma'am.
to speak, is it? Okay, cool.
Yes,
I was
ma'am.
hearing a radio silence, so yeah. Okay, good. Right, so it have prompt has different elements, right? So it should be constructed in a proper fashion, right? So how the element should look like in a proper order. First, you should have an instruction, right? So let's say the instruction is a specific task or instruction you want model to perform. Okay, it can be complete the sentence, it can be summarization, it can be Q&A, it can be anything, but you have to give a proper instruction that what is your task, what do you want model to perform. Then you should have a context, right? Context means some external information you want to give. So in this case, in previous case, you did not give any context. Now you did not give ki, hey, I am in at this place, right? So and so place. Now you complete the sentence. The sky is, right. Let's say I can say that I am in Norway. So the sky is. So the it can write that sky is red or sky is green, right? Be it like, so you can give the context, some external information or additional context which you want your model should use it. Okay, so it could be like, let's say आपको question and answer करना है, right? You wanna have some Q&A kind of a thing, so you have to give a passage, right? Passage करते थे हम, reading comprehension. You give a passage and then somebody will ask you a question and then you have to answer based on that passage only, exactly that way. Okay, so you have to give a context, that what is the additional context can steer the model to give better responses. Then you can give your input data, right? So input data, like what exactly, it could be your input sentence, it could be a question, it could be anything for which you are looking for an answer, right? So in our previous case, we just gave the instruction and we just gave the input, we did not give anything else. Okay, so it's not like mandatory in all scenario you will have all four of them, but think like wherever it is possible you should have that structure. Okay, wherever it is not there, then it's fine that you can say that, okay, I don't have any context, so you don't give it. But if you have, you give it in this format or in this order. Okay, and then the last but not the least is your output indicator. So tell that this is your output which you want to generate, the type or a format of the output. Okay, so let's see here. Let's say I want to classify a sentence, right, or a text. So how will I give it? I'll say it first, give the instruction, classify the text into, I given the categories also, neutral, negative, or positive. So this is my instruction. Okay, I did not had any context here. If you want, you could have given context. Let's say your definition of being neutral, negative, and positive is different than the standard ones. You can give that as a context. But let's say in this scenario, I have not given any context. And then directly I have given the input data. So this is the text. I think the food was okay. And the output indicator is I'm looking for a sentiment. So I just gave that, right? That what exactly I'm looking at. Sentiment is what I'm looking at, right? These are nothing but sentiments. So this is my thing. In case of Q&A, it could be, this could be question and this could be answer you could write here. Let's say you are asking a question. How is the day? So you can just write answer and colon. So it will tell you that, hey, yes, I need to complete this. It will get that indication that, yes, I need to complete this sentence. When you put colon, it understands that, yes, I want to complete it. I have to complete it. Is this example clear? Yes,
Yes, ma'am.
no? Okay. So let's just try this quickly and see what results we get, right? So if I just give it here, okay, when I copy, then it puts all these things. But when you type, this will not come. So you can clear it. So you can see it just gave very simple and crisp answer. So I optimized it. It just gave me one word, sentiment neutral. That's it. Let's say if I would have not given this output indicator, okay? I would have not given this. I just told that, okay, this much I would have given. Sorry. You see, it did not give me anything. Let me just try one more time. So it's thinking. Okay, this time again it gave me. Okay, because see, it understand the context, it remembers stuff, right? So let me just create a new session and give it a try. Okay, so you can create a new chats. Okay, so as you can see here, I have multiple chats. So these are my previous chats. Okay, it's like a WhatsApp may you have multiple chats now with multiple people. Likewise, you have multiple chats here on multiple topics. Okay, so it remembers the context, so it already answered this sentiment neutral. That's why again when I asked without answer, it still gave me the same answer because it remembered. Now let me do one thing. Let me just see with a new chat, right? And then if I don't give anything, let's see what happens. It may or may not give me the same answer. Let's see. This also happens because it's a free version. You will see it is a bit slow. Sometimes it work very efficiently, sometimes it doesn't work that quickly, because it really depends on resource available, right? So as you can understand, it's free, so it's not a dedicated system they have put for you. It's like there are so many billions of people they are using it, like for a free one. So that's why you will see here it's sometimes it doesn't even respond, right? So you can ask it again. But yeah, you can try at home, right? So I don't want to waste much time, but yeah, you will get some responses. Okay, cool. So yeah.
Ma'am, why segmental used for, ma'am?
What?
Sentimental. Ma'am,
So
why
that is your output indicator, na? It is telling, it is identifying, it is indicating that Chat GPT has to complete after this. So that's what I'm telling you. It is not mandatory to give. So it's not working. Otherwise, let me try again. So it's, yeah. You see here what happens when I did not give sentiment? It generated something, right? But is it
yeah,
optimized? Is it optimized?
no.
No, right? I was actually looking for, you just classify into text whether it is neutral, negative, positive. But I did not give any output indicator that what exactly it is looking for. So the moment you give sentiment and then column, it understand that I'm just looking for a sentiment. I don't know, I don't need anything else. I don't need this random text that it says that I think food was okay is neutral. It is repeating stuff, right? I don't want it to be repeated. So when you give output indicator, you will read this definition again. It says type or format of the output. What exactly you are looking at. When you write sentiment, you are clearly telling I'm just looking for sentiment. That's just tell me sentiment. That's it.
Ma'am, I can change the output indicator. I can keep
Exactly.
any.
You can change. So that's what I said, right? If it is a question and answer, so your output indicator will be answer. You will ask a question here. So let's say if it would have been a question. So you will see this is question you are writing here and answer you will write here. We'll do that, right? So let me go over it. In the interest of time, I'll show you certain examples at the end. That then you will get more idea. Okay, cool. One more thing, one another important stuff which you will hear. Have you heard this term zero shot, few shot prompting?
No,
No.
ma'am.
No? Okay. Again, this is very, very important, right? So it is like, so as I said, right? As the name suggests, zero shot means we are just directly asking a question or directly asking it to perform something without giving an example. You just think like that. Zero shot means no example given. Few shot means you think like that. I have given certain examples to it, and then I'm asking you to do the same thing. It is as simple as that, right? So which is more easier? If I give you certain example, then doing a task is easier for you, or without example?
With example.
With example, right? It is exactly the same thing. Zero shot means I'm not giving anything, any example. I'm just directly giving this as it is. Classify the text into this. I think vacation is okay. Sentiment. Okay. Model would not contain any examples or demonstration. However, with few shot, we give certain examples. So let's see right here. So if I just directly give it like this is like a zero shot. So it will give me certain answer, right? But if I want to make it like a few shot, so what I can do is I could have added one example here. So text, let's say food was really good. And then I am adding a sentiment also over here that it is positive, right? So I just added this one example, right? That I clearly told that this was my input and this is how my output should be, right? So as you can see here, again, it generated the bigger thing, but let's see how it gives if I give it this way. Okay. It gives me different, right? Ideally, it should have given only one word, right? So for that, what you can do is I could have added an instruction also. Classify the text into this, right? And answer only in single word like this. I could have written or added some more instruction, more clear instruction I could have written. Because as I said, right, it is generative all the time. So you cannot guarantee that once it answered, it's going to give you the same answer. So you have to control that variability. And how can you control? By giving those clear and crisp instruction. So now you see, if I was giving it just like that, it was giving me the whole sentence. Okay, but when I give it like this, that answer only in single word, it just gave me the sentiment. That's it. Neutral. So that is how, this is what we call as a prompt engineering. It's really not a rocket science, but it is more like understanding and knowing these techniques, that how do you really structure or design your prompt. And of course, your few short prompts really helps to give you better answers. Clear? What is zero shot prompting, few shot prompting? Yes, no?
Yes, ma'am. Clear.
Okay. Okay. Now tell me, what are the steps of data analytics? I believe you don't know Gen AI, but I believe you should know what is data analytics. Can somebody tell me quickly? I'll not go here. What do you understand by data analytics? What all things you do under that umbrella?
Data analytics means getting insights from
Can
data
you
that we
speak
have.
little louder? Your voice is echoing.
We analyze the data and we try to find the hidden patterns and relationship between the data, ma'am.
That's it. You're missing the very important, crucial, and very first step, even before analyzing.
We should understand the data.
Clean the data. Who will clean the data? Right? So as you rightly said,
Proper
we
analytical
should
techniques and tool to clean the data as well as extract. Also,
exactly. First of all, get the data also. Getting the data is also comes under data analytics. Right? You have to do web scraping sometimes. You have to do data from the data lake, you have to scrap or get it. Right? You have to merge, you have to do all those merging, chunking, all those stuff you have to do. Okay. So now we'll see what are these different sections, and we'll see that how Gen AI can be leveraged one by one. Okay. So as I said, it is playing a crucial role in the analysis and visualization of data field. Starting from data cleaning to data processing to visualization, we will see one by one all those real world example that how you can really use Gen AI for your, for your all these tasks. Okay. So first understand improve data processing and augmentation. Now, what is data augmentation? Can somebody tell me? Have you heard this term, data augmentation? No? Okay. All of you agree that building a model or before even starting, right? What is the most important thing to have? Forget about your models, forget about analysis and all. You should have data first, na, to start with. And trust me, 70 to 80% of the industry or the clients struggle because they don't have the data. They don't have a good quality of data. Okay, that is the biggest bottleneck for any problem or any business. You can pick it up, right? There will be huge data, but it is not up to the mark. It is not good quality. There are a lot of noise, lot of hindrances there, right? So that is our first major task of the data's analytics, that you do clean the data, you extract the data, clean the data, and do the data pre-processing. And sometimes we do data augmentation also. So augmentation means, let's say you have the data but the data is not sufficient, right? So let's say you just have few hundred records. So will you really make an insight or make model on just few hundred records? Let's say you have a very big industry, Amazon, right? Amazon के कितने users होंगे? 2 billion, 3 billion, right? In billions definitely. Can you recommend something based on just few hundred records to those billions users? Yes, no.
Yes, we can
But,
record.
but will it be reliable? Will your recommendation will be reliable? You are recommending something to billions of people based on just few hundred records. Is it reliable?
No, it's not very reliable. Up to the
Then,
point.
right? So that is what, right? So of course you can build a model and do the recommendation, but you have to also think that how much reliable it is, how much confident it is. You are right. You build a model with just few hundred records versus you build something based on, let's say, 1,000 records, lakhs of records. More the data is, more confidence you get, right? So this process is called as data augmentation. Please guys be on mute. Okay. If you have any questions, you can unmute and then ask. So generative AI can be leveraged to augment the data. Okay. So the data augmentation is nothing but when you already have a data and you are generating the more and more data to it. Okay. That is what we call as a data augmentation, and Gen AI can be leveraged. I'll show you certain examples. Right. Then the next step comes generating the raw data itself, what we call as a synthetic data. So you have to understand the difference. Data augmentation is when you already have some data, right? The data is less, but you already have a baseline data, and then you are generating similar records from it. Okay, that is what we call as a data augmentation. So think like, if I give you example, you have an image. ठीक है, मान लीजिए आपको इमेज पे एक मॉडल बिल्ड करना है. फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल, आई समटाइम्स आई स्विच टू हिंदी, सो आई बिलीव ऑल ऑफ यू अंडरस्टैंड हिंदी, और अदरवाइज आई ट्राई टू कन्फ्रंट माई सेल्फ टू स्पीक इन इंग्लिश ओनली.
Yes, we can understand.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. So as I was telling, right? So give you a very basic example. Let's say you are building a model where you can pass images as an input, and it will tell you that whether it is a cat or a dog. Let's say you just have 100 images of cat and 1,000 images of dog. So you cannot really build a model, right? Because your data is so imbalanced. You have 1,000 images of dog and just 100 images for cat. So what you can do? You can simply rotate your few images of your cat and then regenerate. So let's say you have one image, let's say you rotate it by 10 degree or 20 degree, right? You have new data set. You just generate more, you just made 100, say 200 images. Let's say you increase the sharpness in few of the images, right? You decrease the contrast, so you do make all the changes. What you are doing, you're just making a minute changes to your data and then generating more and more data. So this is what we call as a data augmentation. And generating the synthetic data means from the scratch, you don't have any baseline, and then you are generating the data, that we call it as a synthetic data generation. So again, Gen AI can help you over there. So Gen AI can introduce or can produce synthetic data that closely represent the underlying data set or your requirement. This can be used in cases where data is limited or privacy restrictions. You cannot use the existing data. You do not have any baseline data. Okay, it can be created to you, and then further it can be used for training the ML models. Right? Automated analytic task. Where more you can use, let's say now you have to get the data, right? Now you want, let's say, clean it, or wherever you think that you need to code, you can actually generate those code from generative AI. I'll show you how you can leverage ChatGPT to generate code, whichever language, be it Python or Java or some other language you use, you can generate code from there. However, the code quality, you nobody can comment on it, because as I said, right, these are free models, right? These are not explicitly trained on codes. So they will give you some baseline structure of the code. However, there might be few errors here and there which you have to run and fix. but it will give you a skeleton of the code, okay, to start with. And then enhanced data visualization also you can do. It can create visually appealing data insights and images. Okay, so I'll show you a hands-on one by one how to do it, right? So let's first pick data augmentation. So problem statement is, let's say you have a data set of product review, right, but it's limited in size. So what you can do is, you actually have to do the sentiment analysis based on the review. So you have to generate more data, right? You have to do the data augmentation. So what you can do, you can simply write a prompt. Let's say this, you can say that generate additional product review based on the following review. Let's say you just had one review this, and you want to now generate more reviews. So let's say if I just simply copy paste, right, and put it here, let's see what it gives. You see here, it is giving me all these reviews. So this is what I call it as a data augmentation. See, here I am doing it in UI, but as I said, if you just take a very base paid version and things like that, you will get a API key. So all these things you can do it in Python, which can be automated further, right? So here every time I have to type and generate stuff and then copy paste, right? There, what you can do, you can also say that give me in a CSV format. It will give it to you in a CSV or a JSON format, which you can again download and do stuff. Okay, so this is what we call as a data augmentation. Right, now let's say synthetic data generation. I don't have a baseline review. Then what should I do? So let's say, I have to entirely, create a new data. So what should I do? So let's say in this case, I want to generate synthetic review for a new product. So product is itself is new. I don't have a product review before. So then how will I do it? I'll simply talk about the product, right? So I'm just introducing this smartwatch, which is sleek. I'm just telling about giving a product description, and I'm just telling it to generate a synthetic reviews. Okay. You see here? So it is giving me some reviews. Okay, but the difference here is it used here baseline, but here I did not give any baseline, so it just used from its memory, because as I said, right, it is trained on reviews also. Any questions, any challenges so far? All good?
Okay, all
Yes,
clear, ma'am.
clear. Okay. Are you finding it interesting, or it is like all boring?
Yeah, interesting.
Okay. Do you know all these functionality before, or it is something you are learning new?
Something learning.
Okay, one by one, please. Yeah. Okay, shall we proceed?
Yeah, proceed to next, ma'am.
Okay, cool. So as I said, you can even generate the code or the steps, right? By being very detailed. So as I said, let's say you are working on one task and you want to automate the entire thing. It could be as simple as, let's say, you have to develop a data analytics task in Python using Pandas library. So what you can do is, you can just write one step, that I want to first clean the data. I want to remove the duplicates if there are any, right? I want to handle missing values by imputing with mean in each column. So these are the cleaning steps you want to perform. For data transformation, let's say I want to convert categorical variable into numeric. Okay, I want to normalize numerical feature to a standard scale. See, one thing you have to understand is, this is something you should know, right? For this, you should know how to do data analytics. Okay, now here what we are learning, assuming that you already know how to do a data analytics, but how can you leverage generative AI for your day-to-day job? Okay, so assuming all these steps you will know, right? But how do you really leverage Gen AI? See, I've just simply written this prompt: explore EDA. In EDA, what you have to do, you can generate some summary statistics for numerical columns. For categorical columns also, you can generate something. I would identify outlier kar sakte hain aap using G score analysis. And some additional instruction I'm giving, that ensure the automation script are modular and reusable, right? It modular means it is written in function format, which I can use. Optimize the code for efficiency and scalability. All those generic steps. The code, we called it as a code, best practices, which one should follow. So these are some tips we are giving. So let's say if I just simply, copy this and show you how will it give. See, it is giving the entire code chunk by chunk because as I wrote, right, you give me in a modular format. So that is why it is giving. So this is a code for cleaning. So as I said, if you already know Python, you will know. So first, this is how you import the library, and you can simply copy this code. Copy this code and run it in your Jupyter notebook somewhere. Let's say I have this open, right? Let's say I create a new notebook, and you simply run it there. And as I said, right, of course, it may happen that 100% this code is not correct or workable, but you will get certain error and you can fix it. Okay, there are some more advanced models which is specifically used to generate the code. But again, as I said, that I don't think so anything is available for free as of now. All those things are paid. So there is something called Codex, which is again from OpenAI only, but that is a paid thing. Okay, so as you can see here, right? So this function it has been generated and it's working fine. Okay, so it does both steps. It give you the functionality. You see how nicely it has written. This is this command for removing the duplicate values. This is a command for missing the filling values, right? Filling the missing values. Then we have a transformation function where we are using this one hot encoder and min max scaler, right? So all these things we are doing. So I'm not going too much detail. I believe all of these things you should be aware and you should know. All I'm telling you that how you can really leverage ChatGPT to generate this base code. Okay, again, I'm emphasizing there is no guarantee that it will give you 100% workable code, but it is a skeleton which you can use and try it out. And if there is any error, it will give you error and you simply fix it. How you typically debug when you yourself write a code. Okay, but think like that if you start writing this code, it will take you at least good amount of time, which is reduced now, isn't it? Anybody leveraged this for writing codes or not yet? Or you didn't even know?
Yeah, I have used many times, ma'am.
You use many times? So you find it helpful?
Yeah, most of the time it's helpful, but sometimes it's give error. So I'll just copy paste the error and give the prompt as you are giving this error. Now Chat
Now you
GPT itself,
resolve.
yeah,
Exactly.
that's revolved. So debugging time will also be reduced from giving the errors to Chat GPT
Exactly.
itself.
Hmm. So you can use it not only for writing the fresh code, but also you can debug. You can just copy paste your error, whatever you are getting in Python console, and it will tell you the answers. But you can try it out. If you give these kind of detailed instruction, your number of errors, potential errors will be quite less as compared to if you just give a very broader lines. Because what it will do, it will try to see, I'll tell you what happens. Most of the time, it will try to import certain libraries or certain functions which really don't exist. That is the most common error it will get, right? So that is what we call as hallucination. Have you heard this term? It hallucinates. I'll cover this
Yeah,
in
ma'am.
limitation. So what exactly hallucination means? You are seeing something which is not there, which is not true. So it assume like it instead of creating this function over here, it could have written like import pre-processing import from pre-processing import clean data. So there is no library exist which is pre-processing. There is no function exist clean data, but yet it assumed. Okay, so these kind of some common errors which I have seen myself when I use it. So you really have to be careful, right? The libraries and the function it is writing, those actually exist in Python or not. Okay, cool. So this is one another important task which it does. Another important thing is for visualization also you can do, right? So let's say you don't know how to create a some chart, pie chart or bar chart or something. So you can ask here. So let's say I want to design an interactive dashboard with a visualization library. You can give library if you are comfortable, or you can ignore also. Typically we use plotly, right? And then you want to show some KPIs, right? So if I just simply do this, right, put it here. So you will see again it detail, it will go what all things you should do, and it will give you the example code with some sample data. Again, of course, if you already have a use case, you can give a relevant data. If you don't have, you can just replace with your data and work it out. But it has given you a very decent, in fact, a application you can generate, and it is even giving you the explanation also what each and every line is doing. Okay, so for code generation or automation or for data visualization, you can use it. You can simply say create a line chart. So this is, you can think like, if we have time, I'll give you some time where, hands on, you can give it a try and try yourself. Okay, you want to try now? Let's see if some of you have access. I'll put these things on chat and see that what responses are you guys getting. You want to try now? I'll give some few minutes. Let's try. I'll put this in chat. Okay. Okay. Try to run this in chat GPT and tell me what kind of answers. Few of you can share your screen if possible, or just talk about what kind of responses are getting. I'll give you 5 minutes. Let me know. Anybody who has got the response and want to share? Am I audible, guys?
Yeah, audible, ma'am.
Anybody who did that and want to share? Nobody wants to try. It's a very simple one. Create a line chart to visualize the trend of, let's say, sales overview. Okay, shall we proceed if nobody is willing to share? It's not like writing by yourself. All you have to do is just copy this and then put it in your system and see that if it is generating. If you guys could share your screen, you could see yourself that it is giving you some different responses every time. None of you like will get the exact same thing from this. Okay, let's proceed, right? So I hope you guys have understood so far, right? Let's quickly cover what are some challenges and limitation of it, right? So as we were talking, okay, so as all algorithms, all the techniques, right, all the technology, it has certain limitations, right? It's better that you should be aware about it, and then you should act accordingly. Okay, so as I said, it hallucinate. That's the most common problem. So what is hallucination means? Doing something or saying something which is not really true. Okay, so as I give you an example, right, it might use certain words as a library which is actually not really a library, right? Or let's say you are asking a question that, okay, who is the president of India, or who is the prime minister of India? It is not giving you let's say it is start giving you the previous president name or something else which is not really today's president. So that could be a hallucination. Basically a wrong answer could be a hallucination. Okay, and that is where this ethical consideration comes into picture. How do you ensure that whatever data you are generating, it is compliance with ethical standard and regulation? So you nowadays you are really hearing, right, deep fake AI. They are generating images and videos which is fake. that is actually ethical consideration. Let's say it's not really had to be a celebrity or some dynamic personality, right? It could be you also. Let's say somebody created your deepfake and shared with your friends or families, right, with some wrong messages. Then that is again, that is something is doing. So you can say that, okay, I'm just playing with the model and generating something, right? But if you share it with a wider audience and try to defame somebody, that is where ethical consideration comes into picture. And I'm not sure about, like, have you heard about these laws which are getting made, EU laws against AI,
Yeah,
like
had ma'am.
sorry?
Yeah, had ma'am.
Yeah, right. So earlier there was no such laws, but now all the government, especially EU laws, like there are some UK and there are some few more governments have come into collaboration, and they are creating these laws against these mishap or misuse of this technology. So it was earlier not an offense, like not a criminal offense, but now it is. So if you create a deep fake and try to misuse it or misguide people, people, you might be put under jail or prison, and then you might be fined also. Okay, so it's a criminal offense considered. Okay, so new regulation and frameworks must be in place to mitigate the ethical risk. Another challenges is like of course the challenge is that how do you really identify if it is ethically correct or not, right? That is the challenge. Biases in generative AI models, so that we see a lot of times it is biased. It could be any kind of bias, right? It could be gender bias, it could be racist, that it prefer, let's say, I believe when it was a new thing, it was talking against Obama, right? The Obama was US president, but it was not talking the same negative points about the Trump. So it was actually doing that kind of a bias, racial bias, right? Because like against, like, being a black person or a white person, it was generating those kind of comments in the answers, which is again, it is not acceptable. Okay, these kind of biases, again, identifying these biases is a very very big challenge, I would say. Okay, so how do you really identify that? Because all we are doing it is generative AI, right? But actually the reason why we are doing it, that we don't have to use human feedback or things like that, right? That is where we are using. So you, a human who is leveraging those solutions or these outputs, should be thoroughly checking for all these limitations, that it is the generated output, it is not ethical, it is ethically correct, it is not biased to certain community or certain set of people. It could be any kind of bias, right? To avoid any issue. The another thing is data privacy and security. So again, if you remember when it was launched, there were a lot of claims was happened on OpenAI, and a lot of cases were being done because nobody took a permission. So as I said, right, they took whole lot of data from web, and then they used it for train model, but nobody took a permission. So if you remember, when we just simply log into a website, sometimes it asks a pop-up, right? Allow this setting, allow to access this, allow to access this. And we most of the time we don't even read it and just give the simple access, right? So at that, what happens is that Google have access to that data. But Google has told you that we are maintaining this data privacy and security and will not be sharing this information with anybody. But still that information was leaked. And it could be like your passwords also, right? It could be your keys also, it could be your card pin also, it could be anything, right? Most of us write these passwords in Google's, right? I believe like most of us even put our card pins, credit card pins, debit card pins, bank password and whatnot. So these are highly data security and data privacy that in which these models are trained on, especially on healthcare and financial services. Okay, so that's why if you see, like, I have worked with a lot of financial client, nobody uses these kind of open source model. Okay, let's understand that. Do you understand what do you mean by open source?
Yeah, which is
What is
open to
open?
all, which means use everyone, means even you can decode that software also.
It is free to use. It's open source, as the name suggests, right? The source is open to everyone. Okay, everybody can see the baseline code, they can modify it, they can add. So all these codes exist in GitHub repository, which is public, which is simply made public. and then everybody can go and look at their code structure and add or delete or whatever they want to do. Okay, but the biggest problem with these open source model of the data privacy and security. So that's why if you see even today, our financial services, they do not use directly these models. So what they do is they do a quick thorough scanning of these models. Once they have checked everything, they download in their own environment. We don't directly use it from these open sources. Have you heard about Hugging Face? You might have heard about Hugging Face, right? No?
No,
Nobody
ma'am.
knows?
No,
Okay.
ma'am.
No.
Then how? Okay, so you guys never use these model, right? So as I said, right, chat gpt is one way, which is actually it has given you a user interface, right, and you are directly using it. Okay, but I can, how, as I was talking, right, how will I use these models in Python? Because ultimately I have to, like, it's not like one time task, right? I will do it in UI and then do a copy paste. I have to again automate this task, isn't it? So how will I do? I need to have access to these models within my Jupyter notebook. And Hugging Face does that. Hugging Face provides you an API key or a direct path, which you can, you can think like it's a GitHub repo or it's some cloud repository where they have stored all the models. You don't have to download the model in your system, because simply our systems are not, that they do not have that much hard disk or RAM or a space to store those large models. They are sometimes in GBs, like 20 GB, 40 GB models. So you can't store them like in your local system. So what you can do is they host in their system and you can use it as a API. So Hugging Face does that. So that's a open source. So we have actually in our organization, we don't have access to Hugging Face models because there is no screening has happened. There is all these data privacy. There is no guarantee that our data will not be leaked, right? Because you have to understand healthcare and financial services, these are very sensitive data. Anybody can breach in and then they can make use of this data. Okay, so too much info in that, but I feel it is required. You should be aware about that, how exactly it works in industry. It's not as simple as, you just try it out something. Okay, last but not the least, interpretability and explainability. So as I said, right, it is generating something, but do you know why it is generating? Why it is generating certain things for you and why it is generating something else for anybody else? The answer is no. Nobody understand it completely. So still that explainability and interpretability part is still missing. Okay, so these are certain challenges, which are there with the Gen AI, and one should be really, really careful when you are going to leverage it. Any questions? Any question, comment so far? All good? Yes, no.
Yeah, all clear.
Okay.
All
I
clear,
would
ma'am. Yes.
okay. I would suggest at least one person should answer, because I will not know whether, again you are not able to hear me or something else. Okay. Cool. So here are some GenAI integrated tools which you can directly use. Some of them are paid, some of them are freely available, which you can leverage. So one is quick, one is Power BI, right? I hope all of you might have heard, right? Power BI, Tableau. So now Power BI has already integrated Chat GPT models, what they call it as a co-pilot. Okay, so wherein the it will be leveraging at the back end the Chat GPT. So it will be think like that, you are generating some charts. That is what you used to do, right, with Power BI. All of you have heard about Power BI Tableau. Do you guys know what they do? Yes, no.
It will create reports in simple manner.
Right, so these are visualization tools to create charts, generate insights, and do a report. So earlier what used to happen before Gen AI, all these things you have to do manually, right? You will upload the data, you will select these two things and create a chart, and then try to analyze the chart by yourself. Okay, but now coming with Copilot, what you can do is you can simply write a simple text that, hey, I want to create a chart between these two columns. Generate a chart and explain me what is the insight. As simple as that. You can write a simple prompt and it will do it for you. Okay, it has become that simple. right? So all these Power BI, Tableau GPT are leveraging that way, right? There is something called Microsoft Fabric as well, which does the same thing. Then, as I was telling, right, Jupyter AI. So it's like it has integrated generative AI capabilities. So I'm not sure if you have heard about GitHub Copilot.
Yeah, we heard about it.
What it does, GitHub Copilot? Do you know? What it does exactly, GitHub Copilot? So it helps you to write code. Okay. So as we were doing it in Chat GPT, rather you can do it in your Python notebook itself if you have Jupyter AI or GitHub Copilot, right? So all you have to do is just put a hash sign in comment. You mention that I want to write a code or write a function which can do sum of two numbers or whatever you want to do. You just write in a simple English with a comment. Write me a code in this, and then it will generate a code for you. So exactly the same way what we show in Chat GPT, right? It's just that you have a direct integration. You don't have to switch back. Right? Otherwise, what will happen? You have to come again here, type something, copy paste. It's not very productive. Like, of course, it is productive, but it's not that easy. Think like you have already got it integrated with Jupyter AI or GitHub Copilot. You put their comment and it will generate a code for you. You will see yourself, it will start writing the code. All these are paid services, by the way. That is why I am not able to show you. But you can easily see a YouTube video or demo for these. Okay. Similarly, there is Notion AI, which is nothing but to generate summaries and write documents, right? So extract key points from the notes and users. So these are some real world examples of company leveraging the generative AI for data driven insights. Uh, there is no industry, trust me, who is not doing it. All the industry, be it healthcare, financial, marketing, everybody is like leveraging these tools and all those stuff. Yeah, so I'll take a pause if you have any questions or any queries before we go for a hands-on exercise. And I want your complete participation because otherwise there is no point of doing this hands-on exercise. We can end the session now if you are not interactive. Sounds good? Any questions, any other suggestions? It could be anything, not just related to this, but any in general query you have related to this topic, you can ask. No queries, nothing? So will you be doing hands-on with me? Like then it is point, right?
Yeah,
Then it
we
is
will do,
useful.
ma'am.
Yes,
Will
ma'am.
do?
Yeah, ma'am, we will do.
Okay, cool. So I need a response from you guys, okay? Cool. Okay. So the very first thing, right? As I was keep on telling you that how will I use Chat GPT from my Python thing? Now you don't know. How do you do that? Right? Simply you ask Chat GPT. That's it. That give me a basic demonstration of using Chat GPT with a simple data set. Okay, generating a text or an image. Let's say I simply copy this and I paste it here. Okay, so I'll explain you this code in a while. Okay, just let it complete and then I'll explain. Anyways, it is explaining by itself, but I will explain to you. Okay, cool. So here actually what I did not know how do I integrate OpenAI with my chat GPT with my Python notebook. So I asked it simply that how do I does that integration? Demonstrate how do I use chat GPT with a simple data set. Okay, so by default, because I asked the previous question in Python, so that's why it has given me default in Python. But if you want different language, you could have given a different language here. Okay, but let's see, understand step by step what it is doing. So first of all, there is a OpenAI library which you have to install. Okay, so first you have to install this library. Then what you have to do, you have to import this OpenAI library, and then you have to set this key. So this is what the API key I'm talking about. So once you do the payment, right, and that is where you will generate this API key. I believe they give you some free credits also. So there is something called you guys can in fact try it out by yourself. They give you some initial $5 or something for free for each by linking with each of the Gmail account. Okay. So yeah, so if you just type ChatGPT Playground, so if you go to this OpenAI platform, I'll share this direct link to you guys. Okay. So first it will ask you for login, so you can log in here. So let me just copy this meanwhile. Yeah. So let's say I'll Google. Yeah. You can create a new account or you can just sign up with Google also. Up to you. Okay. Right. So as you can see, this is the playground, right? So here by default it is giving me this model for free. But if I use some other model, you will see those are other paid one. So this is all free. But I think this one, if I'll select, it will tell me that okay, let me try. So you see, it says that I have reached my usage limit. So I have to make the payment to use it. But the initial $5 credit it gives you, if you have not used it so far, you can give it a try. Okay. So basically, you see here API references. So if you go to API references, actually, okay. Yeah. So here also it shows you that how do you use it, right? So just give me a second. I think from Yeah. So if you go to settings and your profile, you will see user API keys. So here are your keys. Okay. Because I have exhausted all my free limits, that's why it's not working for me. But what you can do is if you go to this section, you can actually create a new one. You see here, create a new secret key. For you, these things will not be showing because you never created, right? I use them. So that's why you can just create a new key and then give any name, whatever you want, which you can remember. Let's say test one I have given and create a secret key. Okay. And you can simply copy this. So this is the key and never share it with anybody because you think like this is your credit card, right? Which has certain balance. Okay. So initial balance will be $5, which they give you for free. Once you consume that, then they'll ask you to do the payment. And let's say if you have done the payment, if you have shared with this key with anybody else, whatever they will also be trying in their system, that you will be getting charged for that, right? So it's like, having that your key to your home, as simple as that. Okay. So this is the key which you have to put it here. Okay. Which makes the connection. Understood? Yes, no?
Yes, understood, ma'am.
Okay, cool. So now once you have set up this connection from your Jupyter notebook to ChatGPT or OpenAI, all you have to do is just write your prompts here, right? The way we were writing the prompts, right? So let's say I want to, the prompt related to different topics. So this is some prompts I'm writing, right? For technology, what are the latest trend in artificial intelligence? Let's say this is the question I want to ask, right? Or I want to ask something else. How can I start investing in stocks? So you can just write your prompts here, and you will see this is simply a function what is being leveraged from OpenAI library. That how do you call how do you make calls to these models. Okay, so what you are doing, this is the function you are calling, and you are telling which model to use, right? So as I was telling you, there are many models, right? So there were these models which were getting listed, right? GPT 3.5, 4 turbo and all those things. Likewise, there you have this text da Vinci model also. This is a very very old model, right? But up to you, if you want you can change the model. So you are telling which model to use, you are telling which prompt you want or what is your exact question you want to ask, and you are also telling max token means how many tokens you want to generate. So it's like how
Just
many
want to
new.
confirm that this PPTs will I get or not?
Sorry, PPT?
The PowerPoint presentation will I get or not, ma'am?
Yes, yes, you will get.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, even this recording access you should have, right, Trinath?
Yeah, yes,
Yeah, it
Neha, we are
is.
sharing in the WhatsApp group.
Okay. Cool.
Okay.
Okay, ma'am. Thanks a lot.
Okay, cool. Right. So as you can see, these are some of the parameters which you can give. So this is what I was telling. These kind of parameters and controls you don't have in a free version. Right. There we were just asking a question and getting an answer. All these things you can't change. You can't change the model. You can't control that how many number of words I should be generating, right? And once you get it, so these are some of, so because it gives you many things in the output, right? But by defining this, you are clearly telling that you just give me the actual response. Okay, so this is how you get the response, right? And what we are doing simply, we have actually generated a interactive session also, chat with GPT. So you can think like it's like a script that, hey, welcome to the chat GPT, right? It will give you certain things, that these are the topics if you want me to ask anything. Then it will be taking your user input and everything, right? So you can give it a try if you have free credits, right? It will be very very clear to you. Okay, but simply it has given you a baseline code that how do you leverage chat gpt in your Jupyter notebook. So I would say certainly try it out after this session if you have some free credits. Okay, or if say otherwise also charges are very minimal. What you can do is, if you're still curious to try it out, you can just add your credit card details. I think it's very very less. It's some $0.5 or something for 10,000 tokens generation or something, 10,000 word generation. So it will be hardly 100 rupees, that too if you generate 1,000 words or 10,000 words. So if you want to try, you can give it a try, try, and then just don't forget to cancel the subscription in case you put your credit card, right? Or you just close that billing cycle. Okay, but yeah, this is how you can leverage it, right? Now let's see some of the more tasks, right? So which I want you, now what I'll do is I'll give you a task and I want you to try, so that you should tell me what kind of answers you are getting. Sounds good? Okay, now now the first task could be that I want you to do the text summarization, right? So let's say I have given you this paragraph, I'm not giving you anything else. You just give me a summary of it. Okay, your first task is do the text summarization. I'm not telling you how to write a prompt. I have just given you this paragraph, and do your best and tell me how will you summarize this. And if you want, you can share your screen also. It should not take more than 2-3 minutes. So we'll wait 3 minutes, and I hope some of you will respond. Any of you tried? If you will not answer, then there is no point for me waiting, or for me to even going further and giving you more exercises. So I would really encourage at least few of you share your screen, show me what you are getting, and then only we will see that how you can really improve. So otherwise there is no point of doing this hands-on exercises. Any of you want to share? Otherwise, shall we stop then if you are not willing to share? Yes, no. There are right now 25 people at least, excluding me and Trinad.
Ma'am, wait a minute, I will say.
Okay. It should not take so much time. Are you trying to log in or where are you stuck? You can share your screen probably to show everyone what exactly you are doing. Who was it? I will give you access if you don't have. Can you please raise your hand? Who said who wanted to share? Was it you, Shiva Charan? Yeah, okay. Rishwant. Yeah. So can you share your screen directly or you need access? Can you try?
Ma'am, I have tried and sent it to you.
Oh, okay. You have sent it in chat.
Yeah, ma'am.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So this is the summary you have get. That's a great summary of antibiotics. Here is a refined version. So you write this prompt. That's a great summary of antibiotics. Oh, acha, this was again generated. Okay. Hello. Can you see what is the problem with this output even before without reading it? Right? Do you see there is a problem? I gave you this much paragraph. Typically, what summary means? What do you mean by a summary? It should be smaller than your input or it should be bigger or equal to your input. Guys, there is no point. I'm again repeating. Rishwant, I'm talking to you because you have shared it, right? So I'm asking you, do you think it's a good summary or no?
Yeah, it is a good summary, ma'am.
But what do you mean by summary? Summary means I am giving you some input. It should be lesser in lesser words, na?
Yeah, in
Do you
simple.
think it has given you the lesser words, or I think it is same words, na? You see here how many lines and the same lines I see here. So I see Charles' summary, which is still crisp. So summary means when we say, right, it should be small and crisp and concise, yet having all the details, isn't it? So can you tell
Yeah.
me the exact prompt you gave?
Yeah, antibiotics are the medicines used to treat infections caused by bacteria. They work by killing bacteria.
Did you follow the prompt template which I told you in the beginning? Did you follow that? Did you tell first clearly the instruction? Summarize the below content, nicely or something like that, right? Without any information loss, and then give your context, and then write summary, and then you try. Did you try? Did you do that or no?
I didn't did that.
Can you put in the chat what exactly prompt you gave? The exact prompt you write it down in chat GPT.
These antibiotics are the type of that you
Can
shared
you put
now.
it in chat? Don't read it. Can you put it in chat?
Okay, 1 minute.
Yeah. So Charles, your summary looks better, right? So please guys understand what I'm trying to say, right? Everybody can generate the data, but the point is that how good what you are generating, that is all matters.
Yeah.
Okay. No, this is the text. Harish, okay. Harish also shared something. Again, this summary looks good. So, Rishwant, can you please share your prompt? I want to see.
Okay, sharing now.
Hmm.
I didn't
Or
use
any
it
of
that.
you. Sorry?
I didn't use it that. Summarize that.
So, you did not give
Summarize.
anything, na? You just posted this direct text which
Yeah,
I gave
direct.
you. Ah,
Yes,
that is what I was asking you. Did you give any prompt? So, this is not even a prompt, huh? So, that is why it
No.
gives you exactly the same thing. That's why
Okay.
I was surprised that why it wrote this line. Now you realize. So
Yeah,
because you did not tell it and you did not give any instruction, it didn't know what to do now. So that's
Yes,
why
yes.
it just started with a thing that, okay, that's a great summary of antibiotics. Ideally, you should not have written it. You have to ask ChatGPT to generate a summary. So the
Yeah.
ideal should be, right? Any of you, Harish or Charles, can you please put your prompts in the text in the chat? Because your summary looks really good, Hari, especially Harish. Can you please put your prompts here?
Ma'am, I'm sharing this again in summarized manner.
Right now, Rishwant, what you do is you write in that format. First, write a line, create a summary from below context without any information loss. Then you write this paragraph saying context, and then you say summary. That is how you should try and see what kind of response you will get.
Yeah.
Okay, you will get much more better results. Everybody is able to follow what I'm talking about? Yeah, so at least you give. So you don't have to write prompt, Harish. I'm not sure if you write this exact prompt in the prompt itself. You don't have to do that. Okay, so I'll just show you one time what I'm trying to say, right? How I will do it. Okay, just for clarification
Okay.
purpose. So what I'll
Okay.
do is,
Okay.
first I will write. Are you guys able to see my screen, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Visible.
So what? Okay, okay. Let me try here. Summarize the below context without any information loss. Okay, and then what? Okay, sorry. Let me just
Uh,
type it here. Okay, let me first type it here. Let me create a new slide and let me type it here. Okay, summarize. Please, guys, be on mute. Please, guys, be on mute. Who doesn't have any question? Below context without any information loss. Okay, this is my instruction, and this is my context. Okay, and then I will say summary. Right, this is what my prompt will look like. And let's say if I put this, that's it. You see, it created in just hardly 2 lines.
yeah. Yeah.
Right, this is what summary mean, na? Summary is not
Yes.
equal
Yes.
to the text. Okay, so the better you will write your prompt, better you will get the response in one shot. Okay, let's proceed. Right, let's do some question and answering. Right, so this is the context and this is the question I'm gonna ask. I'm gonna leave it to you guys. How will you write it? Okay, I want, so this is your paragraph. I put it in the chat, and you have to get this question, answer of this question. What was the, sorry, it just yeah, what was OKT3 originally sourced from? So this is the answer I'm looking for. I leave it up to you how you want to write it. Take 5 minutes and tell me what kind of answers you are getting. Let me know once it's done. Is it done, guys? Anybody wants to share what answers you are getting? Quickly, we'll try one more in the interest of time and then we'll stop for any further queries or question. So just quickly give me answer. We'll just try one more exercise. This should be straightforward. You should know that whether you are getting a correct answer or not, right? Somebody else wants to share? Harish, Rishwant, Charles. Anybody sharing or should we proceed?
Ma'am, wait a minute, I will share it.
Okay. Can you share quickly? Okay.
Ma'am, I
So I
shared it.
think, yeah, so you got the correct answer, right? It was from my side. I am seeing this message, so it's not able to see. But yeah, it looks like you've got the right answer, right? Okay,
Yeah, ma'am.
cool. So ideally, what you should be doing it, how you should write it, you can maybe first give a instruction. Answer the question based on the context below only. Keep the answer short and concise, and respond unsure about answer if not sure about the answer. See, this is something you may not have added, but this is very, very important to avoid hallucination.
Yeah.
Let's say I ask something, a question, what was OKT 4 originally sourced from? What do you think it should answer? Just try it out. Instead of just run the same thing, don't add anything, just run the same thing. And instead of OKT 3, you just type OKT 4 or OKT 10, any other number. And can you
Okay,
tell
okay.
me quickly what you are getting? Are you getting the same response or something else? Okay, so you will see. So again, there is no probability. It might give you the same answer. It may tell you that, hey, there
Unsure
is no
answer. Unsure answer.
unsure.
Answer I get.
You get unsure. Okay. You did not added this, right?
Didn't I?
No, did you added it and then you are getting unsure or without? I'm asking you, do not add this and then run it.
I didn't add it. I get unsure answer.
Okay, good. So see, that's all right. You still get unsure, which is actually a good thing, but you can't be sure about it, right? It may happen that you run it 2 3 times and it start giving you certain answer. Okay, and that is
Mhm.
where what we call as a hallucination, that it might start telling you something which is not true. So it's better to
Mm.
clearly mention in instruction. So if you exactly mention this statement in your instruction, that respond unsure if you do not, if you're not sure about the answer, or if you don't see the answer in context, then do not answer or say I don't know. So it will always tell I don't know. That is where you will be sure about it, that you, because you have given a clear instruction, if there is no answer in the context or no relevant text in the context, say I don't know. That's it. So it will always say I don't know, no matter what. You can give it a try. क्योंकि हो सकता है one time it gave you unsure, and again after 5 minutes or 10 minutes you try, or now you try, it will give you something else. And at some point
Yeah,
in time, let's
it
say you try, sorry, yeah, it give you something else.
uh, yes, ma'am. OKT4 was originally sourced from mice. It has
See,
been.
exactly. This is what I was calling, it is now hallucinating,
Yeah, yeah,
right? And this is you can avoid if you put clearly this instruction in your instruction thing, right? Sentence in your instruction. You can test it out. No matter how many times you run, it will give you always unsure or yes, I don't know. Whatever you will say, it ask it to write. Okay. So these are very, very small thing, but yet very, very important. Okay,
yeah,
because you can imagine it will start telling you something. Let's say you trust me, these use cases what we build, right, for clients. Let's say I'm working right now for, actually I'm telling you exact scenario. I'm working right now for a very big client in US, and they are using it for their like the all everybody has their customer care, right, customer support. They are trying to leverage it there, that instead of a person can bot answer. Now imagine if bot answers something which is not true, how will it will impact the reputation of our company, right? This is why I am telling you, even though these are very small thing, but yet very, very useful and important. Okay. So in the interest of time, I'll just quickly tell you some more use cases. You can definitely give it a try at home by yourself. So text classification we have already seen, right? You can give some few short, kind of like one short example we say, because I've given one example. You can give two or three, so it will be like few short examples you can give for text classification. For conversation, this is what like you can give, right? So let's say you want to create a conversation, you want to have a conversation. So what you can do, you can set an instruction that hey, you are a conversational bot, you write for a AI research assistant. This should be your tone. It should be technical and scientific. And then the first thing you should ask, right? Let's say human ask, "How are you?" So you should say this as a greeting. Greeting, I am a AI research assistant. How can I help you today? And then human can ask anything, and then you answer. Again, you give it a try. So you see that it will start acting like a conversational bot. It You change the context, you say that you are a healthcare conversational bot, then you will see that it will start asking you relevant question. Okay, so like this you can use for conversational, also you can use for code generation. This is what I was telling, right? I already showed you some examples for Python code generation. You can actually say, if it is not Python, something else, you can clearly say that create a MySQL query for this particular task, create a Python function which does this. Okay, you can also ask reasoning. So this is again, this is comes from a explainability part, right? So remember I told one of the limitation is that it is not explainable. I don't know why it is generating. So you can ask the reasoning also. So let's say in this case I am telling it that okay, you find me a odd number to this, right? So I've given a task that odd numbers in this group add up to an even number. You just give it a try by giving this prompt and see whether you will get a right answer or a wrong answer. 99% you will get a wrong answer. Okay, but if you refine your prompt like this, that hey, solve it by breaking the problem into steps. So you think like that, how will you do it manually? So you will first identify the odd number, right? And then you will add them, and then indicate whether the result is odd or even. So you have broken down the entire solution into process, and then you are asking it to do it. Okay, and you will see, if you add this line or do not add this line, you will see the results are different. If you don't add it, you will get a wrong answer, but if you add it, you will get a right answer, because you are telling the steps in between. So that's what another rule, your another tip for writing a prompt: add as much details as possible in your prompt. Write a proper steps. So if you remember for code generation also, I wrote down a detailed steps, each and every line, what I want to do in data cleaning, what I want to do in data transformation for EDA, what exactly I want to do. So be as thorough as possible in your prompt. Clear? So that is all the different use cases. As I said, these are like very few which we could cover in 2 hours, right? Just 2 hours. It's not actually, to be very honest, it's adjusted to such a vast topic. But the whole point is that you should get a different flavor, that how do we use it, what we really do in real world application. And all these application, trust me, I've not made it up. This is all from what I have done it from last 5 to 6 years in this in with this Gen AI technology. Okay, so with that, I'll stop. Right. For if you have any further last questions or queries or any comments, feedbacks, if you have, I'm happy to hear that out. Nothing? How did you like the session? So I am speaking from last 2 hours. I believe at least few words or few things, whatever it is, positive, negative, anything you think you should be improved. I'm happy to hear that out. So did you like it? Something which was missing? If you want to share, that would be really helpful. And yeah, please do fill out the feedback form. It will help us, for your, it will help you to get the certificate also. And it will help us also to improve it further. Anything you guys want to share, or should we close? Okay, if nothing, then that's it from me, guys. Thank you so much and all the very best for your future endeavors. I hope you liked it. And yeah, happy to take many more sessions like on this topic or any other new topic if you are interested. Yeah, Trinad, you can take it over. Anything you want to share or
Yeah, thank you, Neha.
yeah.
Just now, I posted a WhatsApp group link in the chat box. There we are posting all the information related to like recordings and the material, everything we are posting in that group. So if anybody is not joined till that in that WhatsApp group, they can join using that link. The feedback form link also I posted in the group. That's it. Yeah, that's it, Neha. Like we can
Okay.
wrap up.
Yeah. Cool, guys. Then I believe you will be sharing the material, right? You already have it.
Yes,
In
Neha.
yeah.
I'm sharing in that WhatsApp group. Like
Okay.
if anybody not joined till now, you can join using that link.
Okay.
I'm again posting in the chat box.
Okay, guys. Thank you so much. And yeah, have a good day. Good night.
Okay, thank you, ma'am.
Yeah. Thank you.